Hey guys,
And Sat Shri Akal.
my name is Money.
मेरा नाम Abby.
Together we have a little prince named Noah.
Anji, he's sleeping right now, guys.
That's why we get to do this video, guys. So hopefully he doesn't wake up. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
And together we're known as the Modern Singhs. The other day on our Instagram page, the Modern Singhs guys, we made a post because a lot of you guys have been commenting, messaging us for like a while, saying that you want to know the struggles that we had.
We went through. Like
with our parents.
We won't be sharing a love story today, guys, because there's just so much that goes into that. But maybe one day, we'll share it with you guys. We'd love for you to know all about it. But today, I think we're just going to focus on our struggles because that's probably already like a 20-minute video right there. So we don't want to bore you with all the unnecessary details.
So just a quick little background, guys. I'm from India. I'm from Punjab. Ludhiana is my mum's city, and my dad is from Bhuwani Pind. And so my parents are like real authentic Punjabis, guys, and they're really strict with their values and morals and ethics, and which I understand completely now.
And I'm complete opposite. I'm from Scotland, and I've had a pretty chill upbringing, to be fair. My mum's really like calm and like let me be very independent, and I didn't really have many rules growing up, and lucky you, because looking back, I don't know if you guys have encountered this, but my curfew was 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 or 9. My dad was on the phone, my mum was on the phone, like, where are you? 8 o'clock hits. 8:10, where are you? Where are you? 8:20. At what age?
Till now.
That's true, even now. Where are you guys? I just came by your house and you're not here. Where are you?
Like, once you're married, they kind of ease down on you, right? But before marriage, guys, and again, it's just their upbringings. It's the way that they see life and what they want for you as your parents. Because once you become a parent, guys, trust me, you learn and you understand so much more about your parents.
So me and Money dated for quite a while before he chose to introduce me to his parents.
Oh man.
Just to make sure, I think that I was like the person that you wanted to introduce to your parents.
Because I've never introduced anyone to my parents. I mean, not saying that I dated anyone, but even a friend. Like, I was one day, right, baby, I was at the park, and this girl that was in my school, she walked past me and we gave each other a high five, right? Because in school we would give each other a high five. My dad goes to my mum. He touched this girl's hand. What the hell? My mum comes to me. Who the hell was that girl? And I'm like, Mum, that's a girl from my school. Is she your girlfriend? Do you want to like a belena on your? And I'm like, okay, what the hell? So not even like anyone, that's what I mean when I say that.
remember my mum driving me to a date when I was like 12 years old to go to the movies.
12. Oh my god, 12 years old. My parents would be like, "Tenu tatti karni aundy nahi, tu date karna chahna."
He stood me up. He never came. My mum went home, bought me chocolate, and took me home.
Man, two different lives, right? I remember the day I told my parents, right? Just going straight into the detail.
We're going straight there.
The day I told my parents that, hey, I'm dating someone, my mum was like, I knew it. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਸਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਲੱਛਣ ਹੀ ਏਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੇ. You have to see her before you even say anything. My mum cut me off straight away. She's like, I don't want to know her name. I don't want to know what she looks like. I don't care. You are not marrying anyone. We are going to choose who you're marrying. I never tell my dad anything. I always go to my mum, right? Some of you guys might be closer to your dad or mum. I'm close to both, right? But I will always go to my mum, and then my mum will then control my dad, like convince him, and then my dad will convince the family.
Yeah.
Because remember, Indian background, guys, and we really care about, like, my parents didn't even care what they thought about this whole situation. They always cared about what my uncles and aunties and relatives, what the society is going to say about us. Yeah. It was so hard because I'm the first person in our family to get married. I'm the oldest, so like I've got all that responsibility.
Yeah.
So if anything goes wrong, it's all on me. And I didn't understand that, where they were coming from at that time.
Yeah.
But now that I look at like Touchwood, I found like the perfect soulmate. But imagine if something had gone wrong. They would all I would have ruined like love marriage for everyone.
Yeah, everyone would be like, okay, now you're all getting arranged.
Yeah, now you're all getting arranged.
Which is sweet because now everyone, like all the cousins are like being told like, okay, you can marry who you want, pretty much. So that's a really sweet
something cool. Once we started dating, 6 months later, I was like, Mum, 4 months later, I was like, Mum, I'm seeing this girl. I really want you to meet her. She's the one for me. And she's like, I don't want to meet her. every day I would like try to talk to her a little bit, you know, and giving her like signs like I'm meeting her. I'm gonna go out and see her today. And she's like, like she'll be like so mad, like she can't do anything.
And she'll be sitting and waiting for you when you came
But I had to
home,
let her know.
Like,
I don't want to like give her a lie that I'm not seeing you and that it's over. And 6 months later, my mum agreed to meet Abby. And little did I know that she's actually agreeing to meet Abby to understand me and Abby. She's agreeing to meet Abby
to tell me to go away.
To go away, you know, like she is trying to be smart. But Abby was just so amazing. Like she came prepared, right? I did not even know this until the day. 3-4 weeks before, like, you know, before Abby meeting my mum, she started learning about Sikhism. She went out of her way to learn about our culture. You were gonna say something?
Yeah.
Go.
Well, okay, so like that's like Money's side. Obviously, Money was going through like a really hard time with his parents, but obviously, like for me, it was a really hard time as well because like the whole time I'm questioning like is it worth all my effort in this, and I'm investing so much into this relationship, like emotions wise, like is it even gonna go anywhere? Like am I even really gonna like succeed in marrying this person? But you know, like at the end of the day, I was like, he's my soulmate. Like I already know it like in my heart. So you know, when you know Money started explaining like more about his culture and like the way his family worked, like it really made me want to be like, okay, I kind of want to know more about this, like so I can understand the situation and like give his parents like what they're wanting, you know, like I don't want to cause like all these issues in his family, and I felt so guilty because I'm like I'm causing all this like turmoil and like I'm at the root of all of the problems, and I felt so awful like all the time about it. So I was like, the least I can do is like go online and try and like learn a little bit about Sikhism, more about like, you know, like Punjabi in general and like the culture and all of it. So I did that, and you know, I even googled, I was like, what do you bring like a Sikh Punjabi like when you meet them for the first time? And what Google told me was that they love like obviously like a photo of their gurus or like, you know, the golden temple. So I found a photo that was the golden temple and Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji like on either side of it. So I bought that, I framed it like in a big frame, and yeah, I gave it to your mom the first time I met her. And
so like, you know, she walks in, I'm walking in with like my chest up, I'm like, wow, you know, finally my mom.
And I'm walking in like
and she walks in and she hands this gift to mom, and mom's just got this like, she's not the mom that you see in the video. Let me just tell you that right now.
She's really not.
She was a complete different mom. You know, she's just.
Actually, she was really thing. But I remember when I looked her in her eyes, and
You could see that.
I think I touched her feet.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. And then I gave her a hug, and I saw like she smiled a little, and I remember that, and I was like.
And that's one thing that's very important. Like you have to kind of teach, not teach. Just explain certain things that we do in the culture. You know, like in the Punjabi culture, whenever you meet elders, you show respect by just touching their feet and getting their blessing, and that's what it is, right?
Yeah. But I honestly, like, I don't know if I've like erased this memory from my mind because it was so traumatic. But I remember it was Money's mum that told me. She's like, "Do you remember the first time I met you?" She like pulled me inside and she's like, you know, like, you better never hurt my son, like you better stay away from my son, and like, you know, like she was like, I tried to say everything I could to like put you away from us and like make you be like, oh, okay,
I don't want to be part of this
I'm
family.
out of this.
Yeah.
But if anything, you know, like I think at the time, like from what I can really remember, like it made me, you know, like realize how much she loved Money, and I was like, okay, I have to do everything I can to make sure I always respect you and like love you, which I was doing anyway. But you know, like it made me realize, you know, how much they do love him, because it's so hard when you haven't met them and you're just hearing all these like you know,
things,
like horrible things, and I'm like, oh, okay, are they even gonna like
I wasn't allowed to go out at nighttime. I wasn't allowed to go past.
Or you know, like it was more
dates.
just like that. Okay, but you might be banned from your family because of me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't know what kind of people I'm going into. You know, like I have no idea what I'm about to walk into. And you know, like it wasn't as scary as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a lot of shouting and yelling, like from what Money had told me. Like I think in my head I was prepared for like battle in here, but she was actually really sweet, and I just remember leaving and being like,
that went well.
that was actually that bad.
Yeah.
Like
And then we went to the temple. Then I
That
dropped
was
off
scary.
Abby. But going back, you know, I went home and I'm excited to talk to my mom. And mom's like, she did not like give it away. She's not like, wow, I love her. But she's like, okay, I see what you mean. but now we need to talk to your dad. And that is when like things went downhill, guys, because my dad has very strong values when it comes to his family. Like, you know, he puts his family above, which
you guys already know.
Yeah,
like,
which
you know
isn't a bad thing at all, guys. He's a very family person. He's a very...
You know Dad. You know how sweet he is.
Yeah.
You always say it on the videos. He's like the sweetest person ever.
And he was just like... He was really worried that he did not want his brothers to kind of be like, what has your son done?
Yeah.
You know, because that would have really killed him in the inside. He always really cares about what others will say, you know? So I remember Dad was like, I'm ready to disown you one night. You know, like, get out of my house, like, go. And
I think you came...
I've never seen my dad scream.
Yeah.
As growing up, my dad has never ever raised his voice at me. He always treated me with
I
love.
remember it got to a point where I asked my mum if you could like live at her house.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, of course.
Oh, man.
Like, tell
Okay,
her. Because, you know, you were like, I might be homeless. Like, I literally might not have a family soon. And I was like, what have I done to this poor boy? You know, like, he was so happy in his life before this.
Like, going back, like, you know, I told Mum, and Mum is like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm going to tell your dad. So my mum kind of got onto my side.
Yeah.
Right? She talked to Dad. Dad straight away was like, never, ever, ever discuss this conversation in the house. I do not ever want to talk about it. So Mum went from my side back to Dad's side, which is fair enough. You know, hey, like, that's why to die. That's why to die.
Yeah.
And her mummy ne kya, nahi mani hun bilkul nahi kar sakta tu. Kuch nahi kar sakta. Like, Mum was like, there's nothing I can do. So then I had to like talk to my dad. And man, that was so hard, because with my mum, I would joke around. I can tell her no. I can tell her yes. With my dad, I can only tell him yes. I can't say no, Dad. You know, like, that was the hardest moment. Like, going to my dad and be like, Dad, I really love this person, and I really want you guys to just consider meeting this person as a family. Dad was like, nahi, bilkul hi nahi. Tu apna, you know, like, I did not come to New Zealand for you to take this step. You know, like, and...
What was it that eventually changed his mind?
The family. So, like I mentioned, like, my dad really holds family values together. One day my dad asked Suki Chacha, just like, you know, a conversation like, hey...
After months of persistence.
Yes.
Like, let me just say that.
You know, saying like, money is... Like, there's this issue happening in the family. Money. And Chacha's like, then why don't you just meet this person? Give them a chance. Like, there's nothing that we can control, because if we try to control it, he's gonna do it nonetheless, and we might lose him. You know, but not knowing, like, deep inside, I'm like, no, I'll end up losing Abby, and I'll stick with you guys, because you guys are my family. You guys have done so much to bring me here to New Zealand to better our life. Like, we owe our parents so much, but sometimes you get to a point when you're like, there's some challenges in life where you have to kind of put your foot down for your own happiness, you know?
I don't want to give you guys the impression that, like, love marriages are really easy, because I feel like it's hard work. Don't get me wrong. Like, we have had to fight so hard to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like every relationship is like that. You know, you make compromises along the way, and... Like, it's a lot of work. Every relationship is a lot of work. Like, I know I see so many of you guys online always, and you're like, you know, your relationship is, you know, so perfect and so beautiful, and you guys never have any issues. Like, that's not the truth at all. We definitely do, just like every other marriage. But just, like, all you need to know at the end of the day is that person going to be there for you, and, like, do you love them enough to work through it? And for us, the answer is always yes.
I remember my dad not eating roti for like a week or two. Like,
serious?
giving up food because he was so angry. And then Mum is coming to me like, what have you done to your dad?
How did we even get to this point? I don't know, because I don't know if you'd be able to do all that again.
Oh, no way. And he was, you know, because that really affects your mind. You're like, what am I doing? What?
Yeah.
And he's looking at me like, why can't you just marry an Indian? And I'm sitting there like, why can't you just meet Abby? You know, like, just, she's a person. Like, I get it. You guys are scared that she might not have those kind of values or those upbringings that a Punjabi girl would have had. You know, my mum only told me one thing once she got comfortable with you, was, I want you to make sure you have an Indian wedding. She's like, I don't want to lose that aspect. I want to do...
Mom's been planning it in her mind since you've been a baby.
Yeah, so
like,
you know, because like, you know, we would plan Noah's thing, and Noah would want his wedding to be a certain way as well. But
Yeah.
it's like, you know, and especially in like the Indian community, like the mums, the mother-in-laws, you know, they all sacrifice so much, and they want to give better to their sons or their daughter-in-law. So mum always had that. She's like, I really want me and me and the daughter-in-law to be close and to be there for each other. You know, she had these amazing dreams, which touch wood Abby has fulfilled. You know, but you just have to talk to your parents. You have to understand why they're saying certain things.
Definitely, yeah.
And work towards it and say, listen.
Because once we finally got Dad on her side, like, what we did was crazy to even think about this now, but I met everyone at once. So they invited me to Ash's birthday party, and like, I was meeting Dad for the first time, Bibi, Boas, Chachis, everyone, like everyone at once. And I just like,
Is that the first time you met Dad?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I never met Dad like one-on-one.
Oh wow.
Before that, I'm pretty sure. I don't ever remember meeting Dad. I just
remember you
meeting
meeting Mum a few times.
And it was the most like overwhelming thing ever. I just remember I'm like, I have to touch everyone's feet. Like that was the one thing, and there's so like I walk in and there's so many people, and I'm going around like, Sat Shri Akal, hello. And like I don't even think I looked up. I was like, ugh.
And it's so crazy because like I never knew what you were going through.
It was so
now that
scary.
I look back at it, I'm like, wow.
You had your own problems going on in your head, I think. So I was just like, and I remember like Honey is everything to me.
Yes.
I remember Honey saw me and she was so excited because she was like, another girl. And you know, like I went straight to Honey and she looked after me all night and talked to me, and it's been like that ever since. Honey,
so cute.
You're my day one. I love you.
But all the family loved her. You know, like once they finally got to that stage of meeting Abby,
the
entire family was just like,
she's
she's the one, she fits perfectly in our family.
And then everyone was like, well, it's Money's wife now. Like,
and then it just changes.
And then it like flips on the other side, like they're way too into it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
because that's a whole different story. Because then the family just get way too serious. Like, when are you guys going to get married? You know, how are you guys going to plan your wedding? How are you guys going to do certain things? When me and Abby were dating, I could not go on dates with her. I couldn't be seen with her. I used to always tell Abby, like, park 2 streets down and I will run into a car and jump in and then we'll go on a date. Otherwise, I would tell my parents, like, I'm doing nightfill, because there was no Uber or Uber Eats or anything like that. So I would tell them I'm doing nightfill where we're stocking shelves at nighttime for the store. And I would walk out of my house wearing uniform, and then I'll quickly get changed in the car, and then I'll go on a date with Abby, and then I'll come home, I'll put my uniform back in, and I'll walk into the house like at 1 or 2 in the morning, hoping that my parents are asleep, but just in case, I would have my uniform on. But yeah, and after like they were all comfortable with Abby, things just changed. Like I could easily go on a date with her, I could stay the night, she could come over, because in their mind it was like, yes, this is it, that as a couple, they're going to be getting married, they're made for each other, you know. So in their head, they were really comfortable with it. So things changed really quickly. And look who's awake.
The guy you all came to see.
Hello, Gabby. Hello. To wrap things up, basically we would say understand your parents, right? And why they're so strict with certain things.
Respect them always. Like,
yes.
Just because you guys don't agree with something, just because you guys don't agree on something doesn't mean that you have to go about it disrespectfully. We were always trying to be as respectful as we could of their wishes, and still are to this day, you know, obviously, like, you know how close we are with Mum and Dad, which is crazy that even thinking back to those times, because obviously now things are so different. Like, I can't even imagine a world where we're not close. Like, it's crazy. And
understanding my parents, my mum, in her mind, she just wanted that connection with you, you know, and she was afraid that she might not get that. And she wanted to make sure that we get like a Punjabi wedding. And again, she was afraid we won't get that. Until then, we talked about it and we're like, hey, listen, we want that. We want that.
Somebody told me, but we have to have an Indian wedding. I was like, okay, and that's a bad thing? Like, me too, I want that.
And for my dad, the reason why he did not want to kind of get us together was family matters. You know, he was really afraid what others are going to say. And once the others said, hey, it doesn't matter, You know, let your son do
It
it.
was like, I think, like a weight off his chest.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And he's like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know? And from there, it's been evergreen.
And now here we are, and we have this beautiful little munchkin now. Hey!
But just imagine, like, you know, if I did not do what I had to.
I can't even imagine.
You know,
because so many times, you know, like, in the worst of it, Money would always call me and be like, look, this just isn't going to work out, so just, like, don't even worry about it.
Like, the day my dad was ready to kick me out of the house, like, actually kick me out of the house, guys. My brother was worried. He was crying, you know, and then he texts you. What does he say?
I think he said you cheated on me.
Yeah,
He
and-
texted me from Money's phone to say that he'd, like, cheated on me, to, like, try to make me be like, nah, I'm done. But obviously I knew, guys. I was like, that's not real. Money wouldn't do that. And I just thought it was Money trying to push me away, not Ash, obviously. But I just thought it was his way of, like, pushing me away. And I was like, okay. Didn't really believe it.
But then I think Ash texted you and he was like, are you really serious about
Yeah, it was
this?
so cute. Ash, I think he sent me a message on Facebook and was like, are you actually serious about my brother? Do you really love my brother? Because like he's risking so much for you, and like kind of just like, I hope you're worth it. You know, and I assured him like, I love your brother more than anything in this world. And yeah, he was like, okay. That's fine. Okay.
But trust me, guys, this was just like a little snippet. There's so much
There's
more.
so much more to her
Like,
story.
we wish we could tell you. Hopefully one day.
One day we'll share it with all of you. Like, we'll put it all into words.
We will make sure that
But,
happens.
Like, just right now, like, you already know how long has this video been, and that's just about me meeting Money's parents. So, like, you know, there's so much to her story. And obviously there's so much good in her story, and like, you know, like planning both weddings and Noah
There's
Noah
so much
happening,
to
Noah
us.
coming, But we hope you guys
Hopefully
enjoyed
we
this
can-
one, and it answered some of your questions, or like, you know, what you wanted to know about our
But
struggle.
message us on Instagram if there's anything that you guys want to talk about. Like, hey, how do we, you know, we can do one of those like Instagram videos with your questions, you know?
Yeah, or even come live on here sometime and do
And
a
talk about
Q&A
it.
with you
Yeah.
and see what you guys want to
But
see.
let us know.
But always remember, guys,
We ain't that family.
like and
But we
subscribe.
love you guys.
Bye.
Bye bye. You want to say bye?
Aw,
Bye,
that
guys.
was so cute.
Bye.
Bye. Mitti kar de.
ਮਿੱਠੀ ਕਰ ਦੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ
Good boy. Oh, you're blowing it to Baba
ਬਾਬਾ
ji.
ਜੀ
Okay, good
ਮੱਥਾ
boy.
ਟੇਕ ਦੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ oh you are just an angel. I love you so much.